What's up, everybody? Rooted again. We are so happy to be back. We got a very special guest. His name is Ken Williams, DJ MyGodComPlex. Very interesting story. This is a native Detroiter, now in Phoenix, Arizona. He's been in Arizona for quite a few number of years, but he's got a rich history. And from a musical standpoint, just quality of music, it gets no better than this guy that we have right here, Ken MyGodComPlex Williams. What's up, Ken?
What's up?
What's happening, brother?
Gentlemen,
Welcome to Rooted.
thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to getting over here for a minute.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
we have been too.
Yeah, I've been watching these episodes, and we gotta have some conversation.
Oh, we go right off the bat?
Ken is ready already.
I want all the smoke today. No,
Right.
I'm just kidding.
So I kind of clown Ken because, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
He's going to defend himself, but I clowned him. He has some whack gear, but that's okay that he had it spinning on. But he has since rectified that. All jokes aside, the first question I like to ask, just to get the conversation started, is, what is your origin story? Who is Ken? Who is MyGodComPlex? Who are you, man? Because I think DJs are like comic book characters. We're like heroes,
Yeah.
you know. So what's your origin story? How did Spider-Man begin?
All right. Well, back in the day on the Boulevard of Linden. So I grew up in a household that was I was surrounded by music. My earliest memories as a kid are all related to music. My mom tells stories about me dancing down the aisle as a flower boy at a wedding when I was 2 years old, and
Certified flower boy.
certified flower boy. Yeah.
Pause.
But I remember
pause of the
my father had a huge record collection, and he had the reel-to-reel situation.
Yeah, I remember those.
And our house was kind of the house where the family and the neighbors would come over, and they would turn the red lights on and light a little something and put the kids to bed. And we was like the party house in the neighborhood. And so I remember my oldest memories are like sneaking out, trying to see what the adults are doing in the house, music-wise.
Yes, sir.
And from there, music has always been a part of my life. So I associate specific times of my life with particular albums or album covers. My pops was always into R&B, but also like Carlos Santana, Edgar Winter, like a lot of the rock stuff, Led Zeppelin stuff. My mom was growing up, she grew up in Detroit, and she was hanging around with the Motown folks. And so she always tells stories about being with the Temptations, or, you know, because she was just a few years younger than them.
That's one of the dopest things about being from Detroit.
Bruh, you
We
hear
all
those
have
stories.
stories like that.
Yeah.
Well, the three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Nah, I'm gonna sit this one out.
but like you know, even as I get older, I remember particular events in my life related to family around music, and I just kind of gravitated to music. One of the stories I like to tell is that in a tumultuous time in my life when my parents were getting divorced, they were in the same house, and they were trying to figure out if they were going to repair their marriage. And so they would, you know, my mom would go away and my father would be here at home with me and my brother, or my mom would go away. I mean, my father would go away and my mom would be there. They would be listening to the same album, but different tracks on the album.
Wow.
Were they trying to send messages to each other?
They were mourning, right? They
Uh-huh.
were mourning. And so they were listening to like Marvin Gaye, Hear My Dear,
Oh,
which is, that's the album, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know Marvin Gaye, Hear My Dear, it's one of those albums that's all about like divorce and moving on.
The story behind that
it's
is
a story
ridiculous.
behind this crazy story. But they were listening to different songs on that album going through mourning at the same time. So I associate that album with that period in my life. It's my favorite Marvin Gaye album, of course.
Anger is so dope.
Anger is crazy, right? But just moments like that, or my father was big into like the dramatics. And so like he would play The Door to Your Heart like back to back to back to back to back. Or it would be like George Benson. So growing up, hearing all this different music, and I'm a little bit younger than you guys. So by the time 80 comes around and hip hop really starts beginning to get big, these are the first records that I'm memorizing like the message or New
The
York,
breaks.
New York, the breaks, you know.
Yeah.
And so I remember by the time I got to be about 16, I started like saving my little $3 that I got a day from my mom for lunch, and I just wouldn't eat for the week and go right to the record store and just blow it, you know. And then by the time I got
them records.
yeah, get the records, right?
Eat them
so
records.
like some of the records that I bought are like some of my favorite records. Of course, the period was like Bobby Brown or Kid and Play, stuff like that.
So let me ask you.
Sure.
The first record that you bought was what? Do you recall?
The first record that I bought
With your own money?
with my own money,
Yes, sir.
was Kid and Play Too Hype. Yeah.
First record you bought.
Wow, that's
with your
cool.
own money.
I love hearing stuff like that.
That's a hard call. My own money meaning somebody gave it to me,
Yeah, yeah.
or I earned it. Or,
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
saying like you didn't ask your mother like, will you buy this record for me?
I think the first one I can think of off the top is 45 of Kraftwerk.
Oh wow.
Pocket calculator.
Yeah.
Mine was Motor
With the
Booty
clear-
Affair.
Oh.
Motor
By
Booty
Parliament.
Affair?
I bought the album.
Yeah.
I needed the change because I didn't know about tax.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my mother was like, "I'll give you the 25 cents or 30 cents or whatever." Steve, first record you bought with your own money.
It was 2 records at the same time because it was the 2 records I learned to mix on. So it actually was 3 records at the same time because the guy who trained me or taught me, he had a little hodgepodge of tunes. So it was a 2 Live Crew album.
You just shocked everybody.
All of our face. What?
2 Live Crew album.
2 Live is what we are.
2 Live is what we are, the first one.
Okay.
Expose, Point of No Return.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Lisa Coat Jam.
Oh,
Can you feel the beat?
man.
Nice.
So it was doom, doop, 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 get fresh. Doom,
Yeah.
Can you feel the beat within my
Yes.
heart?
Okay. I see. Okay,
And
now it makes sense.
I still remember the order. So, because that's what he did. So
Yeah.
he trained me to do what he was doing.
That's dope.
And so the intro was doom, zip, doop, 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 get fresh. Doom, 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 sh, doom. He was like, all right, now bring in that Point of No, that Lisa.
Yeah.
Because it had a beat. He told me to drop on. He said, doom. It had a big beat.
That's
Doom. So I was like, all right. Doom. And then we finally got it to because it's a belt drive, so it wasn't releasing.
Sure.
He said, man, you got to have a light hand and let that belt wind up.
Yeah, you
So
just stopping the.
it was crazy. Yeah. And so it was those 3 records. So I went because I had some tunes that I took from my dad. He had some Donna Summer and some other stuff. So, but you said tunes that I bought.
that
like
you bought
when
with
I
your own. Yeah.
with my own money. It was like, okay, I had to go find the 3 tunes that he had, and those are the 3 records that I was learning on. We had Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Already at the house. Everybody's gonna have some of
Michael
the
Jackson
big.
at the house.
We don't
So-
need no Michael Jackson
Right.
burger. We got
Michael Jackson money.
And not to take over, but the second thing he taught me was not everything starts on the one.
Sure.
So he was playing for his parents, and his name is Ron Fields. What up, Ron? He had "Wanna Be Starting Something," so you couldn't just go. Can you feel the beat like Lisa? Right. It was jack, 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 da 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 da.
Yeah.
And that took me forever to, dang, jack, jack, jack. No, it's not on the one. It was jack, 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 da 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 doom. But I couldn't start it out. Doom. No, he said the biggest part of the record is a dack, dack, dack.
Yeah.
So I was trying to
have to
get the dun. That's actually the one.
Yeah.
So he was teaching me how to drop stuff that wasn't on the one.
Oh yeah.
Which
You had to learn
obviously
how
I
to
didn't
count?
learn because Tone still had to teach me how to drop. Say the tune.
I don't remember which one.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Lucchini.
Oh yeah.
That was a
That's
very
I
bad
dropped that last
rendition.
night at
I'm
Valley
sorry.
Bar and
And
like
so I can't drop that tune to
No.
this day, man.
I still
on the 4.
starts
on the
yeah,
4.
it starts on the 4. Yeah.
Ah,
I played it last night at Valley Bar, like
it?
Dynasty into that, just messing around, and same thing. Yeah.
Sorry for the long intro, but
No,
it was
it's all good. It's all good. I love these stories. Like
Yeah.
I told y'all, like before off camera, I'm a friend of the show. I love the episodes. This is what I live for, so this is cool.
Wow.
But so just to jump, I'm gonna jump ahead just a little bit. So I'm spending my money, like in high school. I'm basically starving myself, but buying records or tapes or whatever I could get my hands on at the time.
The single.
The Kasingle, bro.
Don't get him started.
Man, by the time I graduated from high
I'm
school,
telling you, we gonna have an episode
I
on
had
the
so
single.
many Kasingles.
Bruh.
Those maxis with the remixes you couldn't get, like,
Yep.
bro.
I'm telling you, the single is
The Kasingle,
the devil. It's the blessing and the curse of
the
music.
gift.
He's
and
been
the
talking
curse.
about this since the beginning
Yes,
of the show.
since before we started the podcast. Yes. Anyway, go ahead, man.
Sorry.
So I buy all these tunes. My dad gave me his record collection, but
Nice.
but as
Wow.
a kid, you don't know.
Absolutely
You know what I'm
not.
saying?
Wow.
You got treasure. Like,
So here's how the story goes. I leave after I graduated high school, and I go to the service. I'm in the Marine Corps, and I'm the music guy in the barracks. I'm the music guy with all the CDs and stuff. So and I start making. I'm living in Japan for my year there, and I'm making mixtapes for people, like, because I'm in the Marine Corps. I don't have no bills.
Right.
Y'all giving me a house. Y'all giving me food. I'm going to buy
and
way
you're-
more
and
records.
you're single.
Wow.
And I'm single.
Oh,
no
wow.
kids. I'm going to buy all the music.
Yeah.
So I'm making mixtapes and stuff, and I'm kind of that guy. But after I get back to Detroit, what's interesting is I'm in the Marines from 93 to 97. By the time I
Now,
get
when you say mixtapes, you're not saying DJ mixtapes.
No,
you're saying
I'm saying
you're putting songs on.
putting songs on a
cassette.
tape,
Yep.
flipping it to somebody, or
Yep.
Just
handing
wanna
it
clear
out
that
to
up for
somebody,
everybody.
right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nah, man, it's not DJ
But you're
drama,
not DJing
bro.
yet.
It's not Who kid? Not that.
Right.
No. But I get back to Detroit, and this is where my peers or people who are slightly older than me are, like, the hip hop thing is full on at this point in 97 when I get
Oh, yeah.
back. I even missed, like, a
Yeah.
big chunk of it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So when I come home, it's more so about me trying to discover what's going on in Detroit. And it's
in that short time span.
in that
it's just-
short time
Yeah.
span, because I get back in 97, and I mean, the River Rock and the 7 Mile Strip was
Yes,
popping,
sir.
and
Yes,
like
sir.
Hip hop shop.
Hip Hop
all
Shop
that
was a
stuff.
thing. Yeah, and like, so now I'm like, wait a minute. All this is happening in my city? Like,
Wow.
you know, and so I'm basically a tourist in my own hometown.
musically.
Musically,
Wow.
absolutely, and trying to go to everything and find anything that I can find, because at this point I also don't have a tribe the way I see it. I don't know who, because a lot of my friends went to college and moved to different places, and so I'm coming back to try to find things, right? So eventually, I don't necessarily get involved in the scene, but I'm educated enough about the scene that by the time I get established, get a job, and I'm good, I decide that I want to work at a record store as a part-time gig, right? So I started, my first store that I worked at was Desirable Disc in Dearborn.
Damn, bro, you was there?
I was in Desirable Disc in Dearborn at the same time that Brad from Peoples was there.
Wow.
So Brad
I
from
probably
Peoples,
met you and don't even realize I met
yep.
you, dog.
So Desirable Disc was, for me, it was weird. I look at it like Empire Records, if anybody's ever seen that film, where they have a rock guy, they have a punk person, they have a hip hop person, they have a pop music person, right? And I was, the way I see it, and nobody said this, but I was the hip hop guy, right? So this is,
I wonder why.
I wonder why, right? But this is, let's say 99, 2000 area, right? So now, when what I conceive as the second golden age, like where you get the Slum Village album and all the Soulquarian stuff and Raucous and all of this stuff is coming out, and then like Neo Soul is really starting to pop right then. I'm that guy in the store, and I'm like, yo, we need to order a 30-count box of this Jill Scott record because I'm going to sell all of them in 2 days, right?
Wow.
And literally, I was pushing things out of the store, and they were, like, listening to me like, yeah, that's great. Also, I'm plugged into other stores, Record Time, Harmony House, and talking to
Harmony
people,
House.
right,
Wow.
who are – I have friends that were in those stores, and they're like, yo, look out for this because I'm a music person, and I'm shopping, right? So then I'm taking the knowledge back, like, yo, we need this, we need this, we need this. So eventually, I end up leaving that job, and I worked for Harmony House on the East Side, Dickerson and Chalmers, for like 6 months. And then I moved into a situation where I quit my regular job, and I told my parents, and they were like, what are you doing with your life, bro? And I was like, I got an offer to manage this record store, and that is what I want to do with my life. And they're like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know I could do some other things, but this is my dream job, and I want to take the chance on doing the dream job. It was a good situation where I worked with somebody who was willing to give me the reins and let me try to, kind of drive the store. And so that store was the Record Exchange, which later turned into the CD Game Exchange. It was in Oak Park, not far from where Ground Central was for like the Slum Village stuff that was taken off, and like studios and things. So the other thing that would happen is people who were in the hip hop community would come into this store. But because I'm a tourist in my own town still, I don't know a lot of these people by face, by name. I just know them as my customers, right?
Wow.
So
This is funny.
So a couple instances. Tone likes to tell this story
Oh, I can't wait.
about about him coming in my store and talking about me playing a Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh yeah, I think I heard this.
It was Raekwon.
It was Raekwon the chef.
You got to tell the story because I
Go
don't
ahead,
remember.
tell the
I
story.
barely remember.
Wait, we're gonna tell the.
Yes,
we're gonna
tell
let
it from two
Tone.
different
We're gonna
perspectives.
get the Tone perspective, and
All
then
right.
I'm gonna tell y'all the Kim perspective.
All right, go ahead. I wanna hear this.
So I went to the record store in Oak Park, which was, I don't think, Street Corner hadn't moved yet. Street Corner was still at the original location. Actually, I'm not sure if that's the original location in Beverly Hills, but 13 Mile in Southfield.
Yeah.
They were still there, so I'm doing my record store rounds. I got my son with me. We stopped into Ken's store, and I believe this was the first time we had met.
I think so.
I think so. And I'm looking around, going through a bunch of records. I think my son was still in the stroller at the time.
Tone, is this post MSU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
This
This is probably.
I'm married, guys.
Okay.
This got to be
Okay.
2003
yeah, something like that.
ish,
Damn.
something like that.
Yep.
This is the period I didn't see Tone.
Ah.
We had a big chunk where I never saw Tone after college.
Okay.
So this is cool for me to hear.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm doing my record shopping, I'm digging, and it's back in the day, so it's records everywhere, and records were much cheaper then.
Much cheaper.
So I'm really digging. I'm in there for some time, and he's playing tunes. He's playing some cool stuff. Then he plays "Only Built for Cuban Links" album. I can't remember what I said to Ken, but I was like, can you change the record? Because, my son is in here. And I couldn't wait for this moment because this is my son that was in the stroller.
Wow.
What up?
I was like,
He's
and
so
Ken didn't have
unbothered.
any kids at the
He's
time,
so
so
unbothered.
he
Your son
was
is so
he
unbothered.
wasn't thinking about all the foreign filth that Raekwon and
No.
Ghostface were
At all.
kicking.
Aaron, man, dip that camera over to our homeboy so because we're going to have a quick. Thank you, sir.
That's basically the end of
All
the
right.
story.
So that's the end of the Tone version of the story. Tone also, first of all, to Tone's point, I'm on my record store manager bougie shit. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't like it, you can get
if
the
you
fuck
don't
out.
like it, you can go shop somewhere else, sir.
Right.
But I didn't say that. I don't
Or
remember
did you
if
turn
I,
it up louder?
Yeah, I don't remember if I
Nah,
changed it or
He
anything.
did. I think he did.
But
He was respectful.
like, that's not the end of the story.
Okay.
Okay.
Tone was active on OK Player, and I'm sure he's talked about this before. And remember, I'm at the point where I'm trying to find my tribe. Tone is like legend on OK Player, and I'm like a noob on OK Player, right? And so I remember there was some post about Detroit related to Detroit. I think it might have been something that Kyle Skis posted. And I commented about my record store. Tone, who's like a OK Player legend at this point, replies to my comment and says, "Oh yeah, I know your record store. I was in there with my kid, and you were playing Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links.
Wow.
And I'm just like, why in the fuck is this dude putting me on blast on OK Player, first of all?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, my bad, bro. Like, I didn't even know, so on and so forth, this and that, right? Fast forward many years after I get married and after I have children, and after me and Tone have become friends, I remember posting an announcement about being pregnant with and getting ready to have our first child. Tone's comment to my announcement was,
boy, Raekwon the chef.
"Oh, that's awesome! I can't wait to play Raekwon."
That's dope. That's dope.
So I'm like, oh my
Dude's
God.
got a memory like an elephant.
And I cracked up. It was hilarious, but like, you know, that's how we connected initially. And that's how I connected with several of my customers. Another example is Elza used to come in the store all the time.
He's a gamer.
And I never knew he was Elza. Like,
funny.
I knew the group that he was in. I knew House Shoes. But I never could point to someone and be like, that's Elza. So this cat was coming to my store for like a year and a half. And just, he would be like, yo, can you order me this Special Ed album or something? And then we would talk about Special Ed for 35 or 40 minutes, because that's what you do in the music store, right?
Yeah.
Where he would come in and ask for Big L. I remember he asked me to order a Big L CD for him, and I ordered, and I was like, oh, what you know about Big L? We talking. Literally, I didn't find out that he was Elza until after he joined Slum Village. And they were on the cover of the Real Detroit paper with the announcement saying that he was in Slum Village.
Wow.
So now I'm out just looking, and then I see them on the cover. I'm like,
That's the dude.
this is my fucking customer that I've been talking to about music for a year and a half, and he's in Slum Village now.
Yeah.
So the next time I seen him, I think might have been at a release party or somewhere at St. Andrews. And I rolled up on him, and he gave me dab and gave me a hug. And I said, bro, I never, like, we've been cool for a minute. I was like, I'd never known that you were who you are. And he was like, that's why I fuck with you, because it never was about who I am. It was about our love for music, and that's how we connected. And he was like, take my number. Like, if you ever need anything, hit me up. Like, and I have connections like that because, again, I don't consider myself as part of the hip-hop scene in Detroit. But those connections from me interacting with people.
Kind of ancillary type of
honestly, I think that I don't even think that I'm a great DJ. I think that my mutant power, so to speak, is being a connector and touching people and building relationships with people.
Definitely are great at that.
And I think that that has helped me throughout the years, not only in Detroit, but as I've moved away from Detroit. And that's, I think it's luck for sure, but I think that is what is the driving thing for me. How I get to DJing is, go ahead.
Get there. Tell me about the Black Milk Connection.
The Black Milk Connection is similar.
Okay. Because you knew Black Milk before I did.
Yeah.
I was coming in the store and you had his CDs.
Yep.
And I bought that from you. I bought the T3 Oleo from you.
Yep.
I was like, how the hell does this dude know Black Milk? And I don't know Black Milk.
So the connection is that, like, again, it's the store, and we're not far from the studio.
Right.
Right? So these guys
Barack
would come to the
Studios.
store. Like T3, I knew who T3 was. So if you come in the store, it's like, oh, what's up, so on and so forth. Black comes in the store, and again, it's just us vibing off of music. And I learned who he is from, starting to come out and see House Shoes play at places, so on and so forth. So when he would come in the store, I remember when he released that, it was like consignment. I have good consignment stories and bad consignment stories, by the way. But this is a good consignment story. He brought his CD in on consignment. And, like, literally because, again, I'm that guy in the store, everybody who I know that I thought would like this, I was pushing it to the point that
Sound
Black
of the City One, right?
Yeah, Sound of the City One. To the point that, like,
Make two.
he was so thankful. He would come in the store all the time and just hang out and talk music.
Dope.
And then when he got signed, my name is in the credits.
Oh, really?
For like, yo,
That's
I just want to
fire.
thank. That's fire, bro.
Wow.
And that's how,
Wow.
I mean, we connected on a similar level. So like if he's touring, he comes out here, I usually just hit him up or whatever. And I don't try to be that guy like, yo,
Yeah.
I need some tickets or anything. But hey, I'm gonna come through for a minute. You know, like that's about connecting with people. And I think, like I said, that's
Yeah.
my mutant power. The way I get to DJing though, and my God complex is Shoes was another one of those people that used to come in the store all the time. And he would always be like, yo, you should come out to
Northern
Buddha.
Lights. Yeah.
You should come out to Northern
You
Lights.
said the Buddha Lounge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't, or when what was the place in Hamtramck that you was playing, right?
Lush.
Lush.
Lounge.
You was playing at Lush,
I
right?
was at Lush.
Yeah.
I think he was doing something different.
Yeah, but like Shoes was the one that would be like, yo, come to this, come to this, come to this. And every now and then I would make it out, but like not as much as I probably should have. Like I was in a different place in life. One time he came in the store, and this was my birthday, the day before my birthday. And he was like, yo, we're going to celebrate your birthday. Come down to Northern Lights, so on and so forth. He was like, bring some records, man. I'll play some tunes for you, so on and so forth. And I'm like, also, because I'm that guy in the store, people know that I have records. And
Right,
people know
right.
that I know my shit.
Right.
But I never was outside with them, never playing anywhere. Back in Desirable Disc days, Brad was running the record room downstairs, and I would just be upstairs because I was the hip hop guy. But Brad would invite me downstairs and be like, yo, you know how Brad people, he's like, hey man, I'm getting ready to go to take a lunch. Do you want to watch the record room? Absolutely. I want to watch the record room. I want to dig in all these records. I want to read these books. Like, I don't care if nobody comes down here to buy something. I'm hanging out in the record room. He was like, yeah, and just feel free to play whatever it is that you want to play. That was the first time
Say
I played
less.
anything outside of my house in the record store at Desirable Disc. Fast forward a few years, Shoes is inviting me to come out for my birthday. And he's like, yeah, bring some records on and so forth. So I got my little Raucous bag, put like 5 or 6 records, come out to Northern Lights on a Tuesday night, which was kind of like their open decks night, if we
Okay.
think about it. And this is important because you'll see how I get to open decks here in Phoenix, right? So I bring my records and I'm like, hey, Shoes, I'm here, so on and so forth. And Shoes is like, good, I'm glad you're here. Get the fuck up there and play the records. And I'm like, wait, I didn't sign up for this. What are you talking about? He was like,
He tricked you.
He tricked me. He tricked me. And so then I was like, you know, I don't know how to do it. You know,
Yeah,
he's like, bro,
yeah.
you played them at home. You can fucking play them here. Shoes and Dez was there. And literally those two guys pushed me to get on the turntables outside of my bedroom and play in public. And once I did it, you know, I sucked, of course, right? But once I played once or twice, I was hooked. That was it. I was there every week with a new batch of records.
Now you have an outlet for the music that's playing in your
It's
head.
playing in my head, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard
When
y'all
you-
talk
when you
about
go
that
out, yeah.
on the show. Exactly the same thing. So now it becomes a kind of Steve Crawford thing, right? Which is, oh, I'm gonna go fuck these motherfuckers
yeah.
up tonight, right?
That's his whole MO, man. It's like the Rambo on the decks.
So not necessarily that I can mix these things, but let me see what I can play to make all these motherfuckers run up here and be like, yo, what
What's
the
that?
fuck is
What
that?
is that?
So
Can I interlude there?
Sure.
'Cause I'm glad he said that. I've been sitting back listening this whole time,
Yeah.
intentionally not talking because I'm learning, hearing you speak about your origin story.
We all are.
In the beginning, it almost determines how you're going to approach DJing by the first people that come into contact with you. Like you said, the record store. So you playing music,
Yes.
right? Putting other people up on music. You still do
I
that
still
today.
do that.
You in the record store in your IG. You
Yep.
running a record store.
Yep.
I've bought tunes. You don't know this. I could go pull out at least now 10 tunes that you dropped, showcase on IG, and I'm like, okay, I screenshot.
Yeah.
And I go order, right?
Yes.
almost like we in a record store, but we not.
That's my whole perspective. Yep.
So, as you guys were joking, Steve is the whole Rambo go fuck him up.
I got the M16
it came from like
on the decks.
I wasn't in a record store.
Yeah.
My first experiences with DJing was you can't DJ.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't good enough. You ain't sweet enough.
Mm.
So-and-so was bad. So-and-so was bad. You better take your ass back in the basement,
Yeah.
right? And so then the first people I connected with, like it was a Terrence Parker.
Oh, yeah.
He was already dope. He was already doing stuff. And they were like, well, Steve, Terrence is DJing the high school dance. You can't DJ.
Yeah.
We got Terrence. So I was like, bitch, motherfucker. He knows this, right?
Yeah.
So my whole thing was denial.
Mm.
So I had people on me. I had people
Villain origin.
telling me,
Right.
it's
Dr. Doom over here.
it was. I couldn't
What was
just.
it? Glass? Is that
Plate
Yes!
Glass? Yeah.
So even when I was training, the dude that taught me how to spin, his name is Ron Fields. He was like, man, you got to have an intro. He was like, when you come on, they got to know you coming on. You know, I didn't know nothing about. I'm just.
Ali Mumbai.
My parents was playing classical music, but they had Beethoven records, and I saw a Donna Summer record and every once in a while. I was a little, but he was like playing in the basement. He was like, you got to figure out how you gonna come on, and then how you gonna get off.
Pause.
And he was memorable, and he had that 2 Live crew.
Yeah.
And the 2 Live crew was hype. It was, hey, we want some food. It was hype.
Yeah.
It was get fresh, and it was get fresh. So in my mind, I was like, well, where did the dip come from? Well, the DJ had already done that on the record. That's how the record was. So I was hearing a cut on the record. So I wanted to start I learned how to start a record not by pushing it, but a doom.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because Ron, when he spun, he was doom or doom. And we was almost pushing because it was belt drive.
Yeah.
So we was trying to push off.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't because we was trying to be sweet. It was like trying to get some speed on the so the thing to
Speed
turn.
up. Yeah.
So when I started playing house music, which you're not supposed to scratch, you're supposed to mix all these unwritten rules.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to be
Unspoken
heard,
rules.
so I was like, and it was funky, and it was an announcement, and it was I want to spin too.
Yeah.
What you mean I can't play? So I came from an inferiority thing.
Oh, yeah.
I came from
villainous.
it was a villain. I wasn't friendly with the music. I was like, what's hard? What can I put with this? Because they not gonna let me play.
Right.
You know, and because Detroit was so competitive.
Man.
In my era, it was sweet DJs, and I was getting dissed.
Yeah.
Before I could DJ. Oh, you whack! And in Detroit, people stay standing around the DJ booth like this. So
you guys have told me before that you two have said once you get pigeonholed in Detroit,
it's over.
So
that's where you get locked in.
to your point about how competitive it was, so now I'm hooked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, again, to Doug's point, I have all this music knowledge that I've accumulated over these years that I want to share with people. It was tough to find an outlet for me to do that in Detroit because everything was already in place. Even the guys who I consider my mentors, Shoes and Dez, and Shoes, moved out to LA or whatever. It's like you can't find a place. And so I had to figure out how to get comfortable with just playing for my friends. So we set up at Northern Lights after everybody had moved on, and it would be nights where it would be 10 of us in the room, but we was getting down and enjoying.
That was a good time.
So
That
I
was
feel
fun.
like that was like what I call my island of misfit toys kind of
Yeah.
formative years. And that's where I was like, yo, I like this and I like this, and I'm going to play it in the same party. No fucking rules. So like even with me, I never knew what you just said, that there was an unwritten rule about not scratching house music.
Oh yeah,
I
man.
never knew
Oh,
that.
yeah.
yeah, it's a bit of a number.
Yeah, it's unreal.
But what's interesting about that to me is we had a jam session, so to speak. Like you hear about bands doing this, like live musicians doing this. You'll hear about Eric Clapton playing with
Yeah.
Steve Winwood and the drummer from Steve Ferrone from
Average
White Band on drums, and like they just sit down and start playing.
Yeah.
We had a jam session, and the thing is, the only people that were here were the three of us and Aaron. That shit was dope.
Yeah.
And the thing is, nobody. I don't think anybody felt like, oh, I'm a better DJ because I played this tune. It was just like, no, that shit, like, it was perfect. Like, we should have recorded it.
Yeah.
Those to me, what happened? What are you laughing about? Those to me.
I guarantee you, Steve still felt like I'm fucking him up right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The mentality works. So let me tell you what I do to get the best out of Tone. Tone is not like me in the same way, but he has abilities. We were spinning out somewhere. You had us spinning Phoenix Valley Bar or something like that. If Tone just gets up and plays, he'll play what he'll do. He does what he does. Tone can play chill. He can play medium. He can play excited. Go back to chill. But what Tone won't tolerate is being shown up by me. He won't tolerate it. So, all like going on before Tone, because I'm going to tear this mug up. Here you go, Tone.
Yo, he killed us.
He killed it.
At Grand Avenue?
I wanted
man.
that because Tone went up first. We did a rhythm section here, and Tone went before me, and he started with this reggae stuff when we had the computer problems, and I was clowning like a motherfucker because for me, I didn't think his set had energy to it because he was just chilling. He was just mixing tunes. It wasn't like he was trying to impress anybody. We was in the garage. I said, okay, wait till I get this motherfucker out in public and I'll start showing off. When you hear his set that he did 2 weeks ago in Grand Ave, he came with all of his stuff
natural ace.
because he knows Steve gonna make me look bad, right? So that was intentional.
I don't have that mentality.
That
I'm in between. I'm just
This motherfucker went from This motherfucker went from Moni Love to Isaac Hayes. I can't turn around in the span of 4 or 5 minutes.
Dude.
And he starts working the stems, and I was just smiling to myself.
No, me and Steve were in the corner like, oh, this motherfucker mad. Number one. Now I didn't know about this kind of internal competition.
It was unsaid.
But
it was
that
unsaid.
that whole session where he was on. So you've seen if you've seen the snippet of his, what was it, 15, 20 minutes? Because we each did one DJ set.
Rhythm rounds.
Yeah, rhythm rounds. So he was having a little problem with the Hewlett Packard. And Steve was teasing the shit out of him about the Hewlett. First of all, he's called a Hewlett. It's Hewlett.
That was funny.
That's a whole other issue. He kept teasing him about it. And Tone showed up to Grand Avenue Records. I think he had that on his mind. Because he decided.
I had on my mind.
Huh?
I'm going to tell you. Go ahead.
He decided I'm killing everybody today. And the thing is, I kicked it off. I kick it off, so I get to play whatever I want. So I don't
you
have
get
to worry
to stand
about
back and watch the.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about it. I have to worry about it. But man, me and Steve were in the corner like, yeah, he just went from Moni Love to.
You're like, what? Wow.
How did he?
He was in his zone.
Yeah.
He was in his zone doing his thing, and I knew something was going to kick in because I don't care what you say. People say, well, music shouldn't be competitive. Music shouldn't be this. And I balk at that because I can tell you Prince listened to people and was like, hey, I'm competitive. You know, Mike listens to us. I'm competitive. It's not about like direct competition, but the spirit of competition makes you sound better. You may compete differently. You may say, okay, you gonna do that? Okay, I'm not scratching, but watch this tune I pull out.
Yeah.
Ba-bam!
Yep.
And the crowd is ba-bam.
And to your point,
Yeah.
it's different
Yeah.
when, like, even, like, if y'all show up at my gig, I was in cruise control, and then if you motherfuckers walk in, I'm like, oh, shit.
I've noticed when I show up, he's like, no, I gotta pull out some shit.
I gotta
talk
do some
about
shit
that.
now. You know what I'm saying?
about that.
We did talk about that a couple of
I
podcasts
love that
Yep.
because Ken, sometimes you be bullshitting. And I'll be off on the side talking to Tone.
I will not.
And then you would start spinning.
Yeah.
We're like, Ken can hit them brakes when he wants to. That motherfucker know how to spin. But and me and Tone, we can't walk up on each other. He could be chilling.
Yeah.
Let me come up. What up, dog? Damn, let me go hit the
Right,
break.
let
Let
me go on the
me go
war.
pull something
Let
out.
me get
This-
busy.
Doug, I expect him to play fantastic tunes. You better make me look up. Man, what's that,
Hey,
Doug?
man,
What
look,
that?
I will.
'Cause
And
if
the
we
thing is,
don't-
it's a subconscious thing because I'm like, I got to pull out one of my super duper green arrow,
Dude, there's no
Arrows.
better feeling than when you playing something and Steve comes over to the table like, or Tone is like, what the fuck is that?
I do
It's
it
like-
all the time, every time.
Yeah.
Popping my
Oh
collar.
yeah, oh yeah.
I don't know how you stay on top of all this music, to be honest.
So I'm
Yeah,
like
back to you. Yeah.
So
yeah.
to be honest, like being in the music store, I've always called myself, and I think we all are super users of music, right? Like in
Ridiculous
tune to
amounts.
ridiculous
I've seen
amounts.
amounts of music. that
I
we
will
listen to.
say that as time has gone on and my life has taken different structure, like there was a period even here in Phoenix, I would say from 2014 to maybe 2020, I was listening to hundreds and hundreds of albums and having what I deem as my favorite albums of the year, and it'd be like 75 albums, you know? That's how much I was consuming. And it's not the same anymore. What I find happens to me now is that I'll get in a rabbit hole, which I've always done, because even like at the period that I was running the record store, I remember being like, I ain't gonna listen to no R&B or no fucking hip hop this year, because if it's good, somebody's gonna tell me that it's good. I don't have to go and research that. So let me learn jazz, because I don't know shit about jazz. And I remember in 2000 literally taking 2 to 3 years of my life just listening to jazz and listening to rock music, because I felt deficient as someone who's knowledgeable about music in those. And yeah, stuff came out, but people, you know, it's gonna float up. If the Roots drop an album, I'm gonna find out about it, right? I ain't gotta do the work. This other shit was work for me. And what happens now is that, and I think I've heard y'all talk about this on the show, is, you know, you hear a record and then you find out that drummer is fucking dope, and then you got to find everything that drummer ever fucking played on, and who was the producer. Oh, what else did they produce?
Yep.
I'm a rabbit hole person, and my day job, I'm a data analyst, so that's just how I operate in terms
Speaking of
music.
drummers, you've come across Steve the God Gad.
Yes, sir, bruh.
Ugh, he's everywhere.
Also,
man, in the 70s
one
and 80s.
one of the things for me is I try to be more in tune with newer things, and so like, what's the drummer who we saw in concert
Oh shit, I can't think of his name right now.
from London?
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now. I see his face.
Yeah, I see his face, but and
hat.
it'll come to us. Yusuf Days,
That's it.
Yes,
So,
sir.
like
yes, sir. Oh my.
you know,
goodness.
like diving into stuff like Yusuf Days or Tom Mish or current things that I'm being. I will say, like, I'm not one of those, and I think I've heard y'all talk about mediums before in terms of music. I'm not one of those vinyl versus digital. I'm one of those, how do I get the fucking music
How do I have it?
person?
Yeah, you wanna
I don't
have
give a
it.
shit what it's on. Like, don't come at me like vinyl. I love vinyl and I have a shit ton of it, but like,
Yes,
if
you
this
do.
was not released on fucking vinyl, best believe I'm gonna play this 128-bit, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That this is the only
I'll
thing
play,
that
I'll play that
exists.
MP3.
I don't care. For me, it's about sharing the music at the end of the day. To your point, Steve. And so, however I need to share it, that's how I'm gonna fucking play it. You know what I'm saying?
Ken, I'm telling you, in my later years, like right now, I'm morphing, because for me, I came from battle, kill, 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 but that actually began to hurt me as a DJ, because I didn't want to network. I want to fuck everybody up. I didn't want to accept this from him. I want to kick your ass. That mentality only serves well in a small little microcosm of something. Then I started realizing I'm missing out on relationships, right? I can't network with him. I got a beef with that dude, because I remember 10 years ago, he hired for that one gig and I didn't. Fuck that dude, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this dude is trying to meet you, dude, and he like really respects you.
Yeah.
He don't even know I don't even like his ass,
Yeah.
right? And so my battle street mentality wasn't serving me, and it was also keeping me pigeonholed in the music, right? Because I was in the house world, and my first job was to destroy all house DJs. So I'm going through the top to the bottom, all house, right? Then it was, okay,
We need to
the
move.
guys are playing classics. They playing disco with the house. Let me kiss all the motherfuckers that's doing the disco and kick their motherfucking ass.
This is Dr. Doom.
Then you realize
Yeah.
there's this other stuff. One of the areas in which I got humble was my boy Dre and Tone. Tone's heard the story a million times, but I know how to play hip hop, right? And in my mind, I said, let me go fuck with the hip hop guys. And then from a commercial standpoint or a party standpoint, I can rock with the best of them.
Killing it.
But Tone was deeper, right?
Yeah.
He was deeper. He was underground. And then from the underground was coming the funk. And from the funk was coming to James Brown. And so in that ecosystem, Tone was kicking my ass. So, and he doesn't know this, but there was the time period that we separated and I didn't see Tone, I still was getting his mixtapes and his mix CDs. And I was listening to all this shit. And in my mind, I said, it's going to take too long to fuck this dude up in this. I can't fuck him. I don't have the time.
Yeah,
So
he got you beat with the depth.
He got me beat with the depth. And so I said, okay, Steve, you can't have it all. You can't just have everything, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you learn, right? So I decided, so with Tone and my other boy Dre, I was like, it's time to consume, right?
Yes.
You know, when you really got to consume and you got to eat it. So I started consuming Tony Tone. I started consuming my boy Dre, musically, right? Motherfucker, your boy's got a clown. You trying to give him props? So I consumed the music, and it was learning. Then it makes me want to see what House Shoes is doing because he's in that similar vein. Then you just start absorbing and say, you know what, I'm gonna have to. You know, any artist knows you got to pick your spots. Like if you basketball, I'm damn good down low. I got to pick my spots close to the rim. Well, you're not going to be out there shooting threes.
That's a great example and a great analogy because, Kobe watched Mike, you know what I'm saying, and watched them and studied them. And you guys have talked about on an episode before about learning from other DJs. To be honest, for me, with it being a new craft for me in the early 2000s, I had a blank slate. So all I did was listen to mixtapes. All I did was watch people play and then figure out what it is that I want to do. You know, how do I want to share music with people? And then once I was able to figure that out, it was tough in Detroit to get work. But once I left Detroit, I've been able to apply the same thing in different places. So I left Detroit in 2012. And then I lived in South Carolina for 2 years. And after, 6 months, 8 months there, I was like, okay, I got to find the music people, So then I find all these soul record collectors in the South.
Nice.
That I had no clue existed. Yes.
Did you have DJ equipment at this point?
I had 12s. I had a shitty mixer. Thanks to, it wasn't that one, but it was another.
It was the same one. That's what still fucked up. You brought it out to Arizona.
But so I had the equipment, but I just had it set up in my office at the crib.
When did you first get the 12s? Did you have them?
I bought
in
the
Detroit?
12s in Detroit.
Okay.
And I bought the 12s from. Dang, I can't think of what the dude who was the bouncer at Northern Lights.
Oh,
wow.
Homie.
Yeah, the big homie.
Okay.
So I bought the
Tank.
12. Tank. I bought the 12. Shout out Tank. What up, bro? I bought the 12. My first pair of the 1200s from Tank. Yep. And I still have that pair of 1200s that I bought from Tank, which are the ones that I use for the rec room today. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
But, leaving the city and first going to Greenville, South Carolina, which is a lot smaller pond, right?
I've actually
you been to Greenville? Yeah.
South Carolina.
So Greenville is the pond is so small, but once I remember it was like the first record store day or something like that, and I'm like, okay, I gotta find a record store to go to. So I go to the record store day and I meet people like digging for records, and we just start talking. And the next thing I know, I'm getting invited out to see things, and the next thing I know, they're like, come play. So I go and play, and now I have a tribe in Greenville, right? And then when I left Greenville, we were moving out here to a much smaller place. And so as a record collector who's young, when you're in your young days, like my dad gave me his records, I sold them shits. And then I accumulated a bunch of other records when I was in Detroit. And as I was getting ready to leave Detroit to go to South Carolina, the producers, the DJs, they came to my house. I sold them shits. And and so my thing was always,
I ain't get that call.
no, you didn't. But my thing was always like
Blacklight.
quality over quantity. My goal in life is to do the most with the little, right? With the little as possible. So like I had a collection of like 5,000 records, and I got down to 500 because we were moving into a very small place. I didn't want to pay for storage anywhere. So I took 500 records to South Carolina. And then in the 2 years that I was there, I tripled it. And then when we moved out here, we moved to a smaller place.
Oh, wow.
So I sold them shits or gifted them to my friends there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when I came out here, once I finally get established in my career and I get space in a house, I can start accumulating things again, which is where I am right now. But coming out here was interesting because, again, it was like a whole starting over again thing, and then having to figure out who are the record people, where is my tribe of people that like the music, and also then you throw in the Southwest. Like, I have no clue about the culture in the area or what the music is like
we need
here.
to talk about that.
So many people are transplants. So
Yes.
you can, it should make it, theoretically, it should make it easier to kind of find one,
Yeah,
but it's not.
it's not.
It's not because everybody comes with their own idea
Yes,
about what
100%.
good music is.
Everybody wants to make it what I had at the
Yes.
crib.
Yes.
And I'm like, yo, I told everyone when I first moved here within 2 years, and I think I told you this when you first got here. I feel like Phoenix as a whole, you can do whatever the fuck it is you want to do here. Everybody can eat.
Yeah.
There is no, I found, crab in a barrel situation like in Detroit. There is no pigeonholing. You might have, the work is finding where you can do it or building the
That's the hard-
connection
that's
with
the hard
people,
part, yeah.
right? And accumulating trust. Once you do that, you can do whatever you want here. If you sell lemonade,
That cool, refreshing drink.
cool, refreshing drink, you can make $1 million off of selling lemonade here as long as you are willing to do the work and connect with people, I believe. And it's, to me, it's the same thing about DJing. And for me, it's not about making money DJing. It's about making something cool so that I want to live here and I want to show my kids, like, yo, this is dope. And we built this. You know what I'm saying?
Ken, I started this podcast, bro, because I want to be connected to DJing, right? And DJing for me can be anything. It could be like, we all DJ at our house, you know, whether it's our music room or whatever. Most DJs got a pair of turntables or some CDs or whatever up against the wall, and they DJing, right? And we enjoy that. Everybody would love to be in a club or bar or somewhere. But I said to myself, I actually like the connection with the art, with the craft and art and the whole culture of DJing. And so these cameras that's on us right now, they're not here if it's not for DJing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're not here if it's not for, I want to talk to some music guys or some DJ guys.
Yeah.
And so this makes me feel like I have a residency.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You do.
Like I'm not spinning right now, but we talking about spinning. That's fucking enjoyable.
That's
you know what I
fucking
mean?
enjoyable.
This dude, Ken Williams, who has a completely different story than me, and we both from Detroit, we got two totally opposite stories. I can actually experience joy from his story, learn something. I can flip my DJing, right? Because I love to learn. Like, as much as I love to destroy, I love when somebody fucks me up. Like, I love getting fucked up. Tone got me with hip-hop and funk, right?
Yeah.
My boy Dangerous got me with house, with my own stuff. It was beating me upside the head with it. We became great friends and started learning from each other. You don't think I've learned from you? You don't think I've seen the quality of tunes you drop? You don't think I've seen all the stuff you posted, gone into your gigs and don't know what the fuck you playing, but I got my Shazam out? Like, God, the fuck is this shit? Damn, it didn't come up. I got to ask this. Right? I take that and I put it in my bag, and then I say, damn, Steve, maybe it's a handicap if you got to only spend one way, because I love just playing music, right? Or just playing different areas of music. But if you don't listen to a Ken, if you don't listen to other people, if you don't listen to a Doug and give it a chance, you never get to step your own game up. And Gary Chandler, we did a little special on him. He talked about it. He said, and I quote, he said, I got a lot of DJs up in me. He's like, a lot of people had influence. And he named the Wizard. He named all these people.
Knew it was coming.
He said,
Pause.
I said it when I watched it.
he said, Jazzy Jeff, DJ Qbert.
Yeah.
He was naming all these cats, and he even named me. He said, I wish I could love music like Steve Crawford. I wish I could da-da-da-da, like da-da-da. And he was like, I take a little bit from everybody, because you can't be everybody.
That's
right?
100.
Everybody ain't going to do this. Everybody ain't going to do that. But if you can learn and absorb and then figure out your angle, everybody can't do the sky hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's Kareem. Ain't nobody doing the sky hook like Kareem.
Yeah.
Don't try to copy the sky hook. But, you know, maybe you got a little jump hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You little Kevin Willis jump hook.
Yeah.
And so I'm stealing all the time, right? And I think a great DJ or even a great music person, like you steal. We don't Doug didn't just drop on earth and he knows all this music.
Yeah.
Somebody told you something. Somebody schooled you on something.
Yeah.
Somebody put you up on something. It's up to you to investigate it, and then now you start doing this.
He did that with you like showcase Labby Seafray.
Oh yeah.
So I knew I got the right, and you started listening to other tunes, and I hadn't really though. So
Deep
remember
down.
when I played the Vulture?
Yeah.
Yo,
That's the joint.
Oh, because the drumming in that is ridiculously
Nuts.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I tell us my sister was here a couple weeks ago, and there was this, and it's actually I think it's coming out here. I won't mention it because I don't want to think people to think I'm bashing it, but it sounds like it's a very nostalgic music event, and personally that does not excite me.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. Yes, I know a lot of music, and I know I got lyrics in my head. I can't remember what I did yesterday.
Yeah.
But let "Miss You" come on by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. I know that word for word, right? I listened to that when I was 6 years old. I don't want to go and hear every tune that I know already.
So
Play something for me that I've never heard. And if most of your set is like that, even if
why?
I don't necessarily appreciate the music to begin with, I'm like, I ain't never heard this. This is what I need to
So
hear.
Doug, to your point, like, and being a record store guy, right? Record store guys always have these weird off the wall opinions about stuff, right? There are certain albums that people deem as classics or songs, if we're
That
talking about
sounds good.
DJing, right? That I never have to hear again in my life. Because I know it. Like you said, I know it from when I was 6 or whatever the period was, right?
It's
I
played
get
at all
it.
the cookouts.
It's not that like I don't appreciate it, the song.
I
It's
respect the
that
nostalgia.
there's so much other music out in the world. Why would I waste my time listening to the same things over and over and over?
5 examples.
You want 5?
I want 5.
All right. This is going to cause some controversy.
Probably
wait.
not. I'll probably be like, yes,
Well,
ding.
I'm sure we'll all agree. but
First of all, as much as I revere the skill set of production of Dr. Dre, I never have to hear The Chronic again. The whole album in my
Wow,
life.
That's deep.
I don't own it. I don't have a desire to own it. I just don't have to hear it. I heard it. I know it. I know it word from word. I get the time period.
That's
I
funny.
know what it represents. I'm good.
because I said that I don't own The Chronic and I've never listened to it all the way through and I don't like it on Twitter. I got flamed.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I'm going to get
absolutely.
flamed. And,
Flamed.
but that's
I don't
what
care.
I am.
I don't like it.
That's one.
Wow.
Me and you have had a discussion
I
about.
like 2001 a lot better.
Yeah, I do too. Me
Anyway,
and you have
go
had a
ahead.
discussion about Jill Scott before.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
He was clowning me, like I can't talk to you. What are you talking about, bro? Like I like Jill Scott, and I loved that record when it came
The
out.
first one?
The first one.
Oh, the debut is ridiculous.
It's a great album.
It's a great
I
album.
never have to hear it again.
I-
Now,
Won't
what I will
disagree.
say is like one of the joys that I do get from
I
DJing.
thought you said you didn't like that album.
I just said I never have to hear it again.
Okay.
Stop
That's
putting
different.
words in my mouth.
That's different.
But okay, what I will
wasn't a
say
clown.
is one of the joys that I do get from DJing, which is why I try to stay in tune with new things, people shit on like edits and things like that. I'm a very big fan of that type of stuff
You are.
because if you can give me that Jill Scott record that I said I never needed to hear again in my life, but give it to
The way
me,
somebody, depending on who touched it.
depending on who touched it, and give it to
Oh.
me in a way that I have like awakened some new portion of
Yeah,
my
man.
senses.
Yeah.
That is what I draw from listening to those.
What's
edits
interesting
and
about that
such.
is I find, and I'm gonna let you get back to your
Yeah.
list. When I'll catch an artist that has heard an edit of their own music, and they're like,
Like,
"No,
holy
this shit
shit.
is dope."
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, why not think of it to do it this way?
Yep.
But that's where you were at the time with that particular producer.
There's like crazy ones, like the K-Tronada Janet Jackson
Oh
stuff.
my God.
You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
yes.
Like when you hear
Shaka
that,
Khan
you're
too.
just like, whoa, wait, I didn't know these things were possible. And now all of a sudden I'm listening to this record that's 30 years old, essentially, but in a new way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, off top, I honestly, I could fill it in with a bunch of like rap albums because that's probably the most for me. And I think it's probably because of where I am in my life. I got these I have two gorgeous little girls. When I hear a lot of the stuff that I used to listen to, it's not that I'm anti any of that stuff, but it's just like I'm in a different place in my life and it doesn't do for me what it did in 1994,
So
95,
3 is purple
96.
tape.
Honestly, I haven't listened to the Raekwon album
Since
I played it for you,
kids.
probably. But you know what I do
no,
have,
you played,
though?
you played it for him and his son.
But what I do have is there was an instrumental version put out on vinyl, and I do enjoy hearing the instrumental version of it. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's a lot of albums from that period that I'm good on. You know, so yeah.
That's crazy, man, because when you said The Chronic, I understood why you said you would leave that alone, didn't need to hear it again. I think we're shaped by our experiences. Like, I would never let go of The Chronic. It's not like I listened to it and put it in.
Sure.
He used to run the Chronic,
But
though.
I used to run The Chronic.
Ooh,
Yeah.
He used to tear parties up with that album.
It was such
Crazy.
a seminal record.
It is.
And it just, for a guy like me who had to rock a party, you look at your ass savers. What's going to save my
Yeah.
ass?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm dropping G-Thing. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right? I'm coming out of it with such and such and such and such. Like the whole era of To the Beach, y'all.
Oh,
MC
yeah.
Bree, right?
MC Bree, yeah.
Like, I'm like,
Regulators.
all that stuff, man. It was like, it gave me those popular tunes let me be accepted because they didn't accept me. Because if you want to get Steve Crawford, you're gonna get some deep house and some disco. So you don't really want me.
You don't really want me.
You don't really
You want the
me.
skill set.
You want the skill set.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go put these skills behind these G things.
Yep.
And these MC Breeds. And I'm gonna play Bama Weed, and y'all gonna
Yep.
go crazy.
And they jams, and they will
And
go
they
crazy.
hot
yes.
jams. 'Cause
Yep.
I'm gonna make y'all like me. I'm DJ Energy, yay!
Yeah.
But I'm using that as a front. I used popular hip hop to get accepted. You know what I mean? To get some gigs, to get some popularity, some notoriety.
Yeah.
And then I want to do a switcheroo.
Yeah.
Here goes some deep shit.
Oh, y'all let me in the dough.
Y'all
You
let me in the dough.
fucked up
So
now, buddy.
Because I really got Ken in me.
Yes.
But y'all won't let me pull out my Ken stuff.
Yep.
You know, and so I love you so much, Ken, is because you're Ken out front.
Yep.
And all your gigs you play Ken stuff. It's not like, let's get through the first 15 bullshit tunes that Ken is going to play before Ken does Ken.
Yeah.
Every time I hear you play or see a snippet or whatever it is, it's Ken playing some shit. You better put your Shazam
Listen,
out.
it took forever for me to get here, to be clear. But I think when I got here in Phoenix, it allowed me. Well, first of all, I'm going to tell the story of how I started DJing here in Phoenix.
Wait, how did you get My God Complex?
Oh, all right.
That's a
Quick
good one,
story.
too.
That's about a girl, man.
Okay.
You know. So during that period where I'm figuring myself out in Detroit after I got home from the service, chasing a girl, ask her out on a date. This girl I've been eyeing from high school, whatever. We go out. I'm thinking I'm the shit. I literally, I don't know where the fuck we went, but I know we sat down at the table and I talked for 25, 30 minutes straight.
She didn't get
And
a word
she
in
just was
edgewise.
like, She was super sweet. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And then when she finally was able to talk, she was like, you think you got the shit figured out, huh? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was basically like, bro, we're like 22. Pipe down. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, you have a God complex. Like, you think that you have everything all figured out.
Wow.
And that you're driving the world. And she basically read me for like 10 minutes straight. And then
Check, please.
she didn't check please. She should have check pleased me. But she didn't check please me. She was very sweet. But she did not let me get a second date. And basically, at that point, I was like, I need to be humble. I need to take that, and I need to remember that forever. And that's where my God complex comes from.
Oh, okay.
So
It's a lot deeper than all.
it's a lot deeper than most people think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it. But like, people will get you together if you can receive.
If you're
it.
paying attention, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where that comes from. When I get here to Phoenix, and I finally get settled in. We had our first kid. I get my job together, and I'm ready to start finding my tribe.
Put a year on it. What year did you?
This is 20. I got here in 2014 because I was in Greenville for 2 years, and then I would say I hibernated here for, let's say, a year and a half to 2 years. So let's say 2016. 2016, I start like trying to figure things out. Like, where should I be going? I don't remember what year the Super Bowl was here, but there was a year that the Super Bowl was here, and the Roots were playing downtown at the free thing for the Super Bowl. We could look it up. But when I go downtown to hang out at the Super Bowl, one of my friends, Greg, introduces me to a guy who was just graduating from ASU, so a young kid, right? And we started talking music, and he was giving me everything that I had been looking for, all the stuff that I was into at the time. He was up on it, and then I'm like, yo, where do I go? And he's like, check out Valley Bar. And so I'm like, okay, I'll check it out, but never really get around to it, right? The next thing that happened is I'm talking to House Shoes, who's in LA, and he's like, yo, I think I have a homie that lives in Phoenix, DJ Vex, R.I.P. DJ Vex. He was like, you should look him up, so on and so forth. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm looking at Valley Bar, and Vex has a night at Valley Bar called Afro Heat. And the Afro Heat night is all basically him playing Afro beat, not Afro beats, Afro beat, and playing reggae, right? And so then I have this flyer, and I think this is before you could save it, but I screenshotted it on Instagram, so I had it in my phone. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to go to this when I can go to this. Somehow I ended up talking with Wajid from Detroit. And Wajid was like, oh, yeah, my man Vex is there, blah, 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 blah. And so now all of these things are pointing me in this particular direction, right? And so then I make it my business to go to Valley Bar. I go to this Afro Heat thing. And you know how when you have a DJ, I think I hit him up on Instagram first, like, yo, Wajid, House Shoes, they told me to holler at you, blah, 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 blah. And so I go up, and he's DJing. You know, when you the DJ, you know, people ain't coming up on stage or anything. But he was kind enough to be like, yo, yeah, I'm working, but hit me up afterwards. And at the time, he was doing a radio show out of Radio Phoenix at the Phoenix Center of the Arts downstairs. He had been doing this show, and then he invited me to come to the show on a Saturday. I remember my daughter may have been like 1.5 or 2, my wife. We all drive down there. They go get ice cream while I go in the show. And I'm thinking he's just inviting me to chill. This motherfucker is like, yo, put them headphones on. Yo, get that mic in front of you, right? And he starts asking me questions. I'm absolutely not prepared. But he's asking me about like similar things about my experiences in Detroit. What do I think of Phoenix? And we just started talking, and we vibed. And then we became friends. And then at one point, he was like, yo, I don't want to do the show by myself. Do you want to come do the show? So we start doing this show every Thursday night for like an hour. And then eventually it gets to the point where Erica, DJ Ricky T, was like a listener of the show and a fan of the show. She wasn't DJing or anything, but she just was like, I want to come to the show. And we was like, come on now, right? So now it's all three of us doing this show every Thursday night, talking shit, listening to new music, playing new music, and just having a general good time. The people from Valley Bar were like, yo, we want y'all to do that as a club night instead of just doing it as a show and where y'all talk. So we were like, okay, ain't nobody in Phoenix playing the shit that we playing, so let's do it. So that's how we get the gig at Valley Bar, and now it's all three of us playing together. Or if you know somebody is out of town, you know it's two of
Filling
us.
in,
Yeah,
yeah.
but some combination of us are basement tapes. That's how we come together as basement tapes. We start getting booked at Valley Bar, Crescent Ballroom, a couple different places around town. And so then through that, I was able to flex a little bit of power and step out on my own and establish myself as a DJ here. And so the first gig that I ever had, I remember, was at Republica Empanada in Mesa. And the family that owns it, I used to just go there as a customer and eat, and I became friends with the family that owns it. Marco, my friend there, is about the same age as us. And we would talk about music all the time. And so then when I was having a conversation with him, like, yo, I think I want to start DJing by myself and do some things. He was like, come play here on Wednesday nights. So I started playing there on Wednesday nights just to kind of get my feet wet. I bought my first controller and just kind of learning it and figuring out what I can do and what I can't do. And then from there, I got booked to do a gig at the Nile for a Martin Luther King Day celebration. And it was just kind of play some background music. They going to do some speeches. Then you're going to play again and, you know, cue up the speech or whatever, right? So I do that gig, but that's how I get in the Nile. And they liked what I played. And pretty much they started booking me for whatever they needed whenever they needed a DJ. So after about 6 months, I was like, I got this idea. Because if you take it all the way back to Detroit, the way I learned to DJ was Shoes pushing me up to those fucking turntables and saying, play the fucking records. So now you fast forward all these years later, and I decide that's what I want to do because that's important to me. And that's how I'm going to build community here with people. And so I suggested the idea of the rec room, and that was actually a night that I was hosting a funk night on, right? But I was like, scrap the funk night. It's, you know, anybody can do that. This is what we need to do. And so we established the rec room where people can come out and play. You get seasoned DJs like you guys coming through and play, but you get noobs coming through and playing and learning about DJ culture, about records. And then also with vinyl exploding the way that it did, you have all these people that are just buying records. Some of them just keeping them on the wall, but some of them have never played them outside of their home. So now you have these collectors that, yo, I have this record that I got. I just want to come and play it and talk to you about the record. And so now it becomes kind of a hub for DJs to kind of congregate and talk through things. People can learn. There's folks, and I call them my little birdies or whatever, that there's probably about 5 people that I've taught to play in this environment that are working DJs around the city now. And for me, that gives me more fulfillment than actually fucking DJing at this point. You know what I'm saying?
I know at least 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. And so then
solid DJs.
DJs too, right?
Is that why that you taught them to like play on a messed up mixer?
I know this motherfucker's about to come back to that. I knew it, man. Listen, we
we
about to settle this. We about to settle this.
That's probably why they solid, Steve. Is that what you're
They
trying to say?
solid because they learned on shit, sir. No. No. We're going to come back to this mixer story right fucking now.
I couldn't resist.
So Steve comes to the rec room, and the first thing he says to me is like, Ken, this is cool. But why the fuck you don't have a monitor? And I'm like, I think I said I was just lazy or something like that and didn't bring it. He was like, nah, Ken, man, you can't do that. If you're doing this, you got to do it right. You got to do it for the community. Bring the shit. The people need the sound, so on and so forth. And I was just like, I was just like, Okay, all right. I'll never have this conversation again. So now
Steve ain't coming to play here no more.
Coming to play here no more. He's uninvited. No, but like from that point on, it was like, okay, to your point, if I'm gonna do it, I got to do it right. So now, anytime you come in the rec room, first of all, the Nile has built out hanging speakers that are permanently there.
Cool.
So the only thing that I do have to bring is my monitor and set it up behind, and then plug into their soundboard. So the system is a lot better. Thumbs up. Thank you, Steve.
Yes,
in addition to that, the mixer, the shitty mixer that everyone learned on, and is now working DJs.
It's in the Smithsonian. Is it in the Smithsonian?
It's not in the Smithsonian, but it's in a case in the garage. That's my backup now, right?
It's the backup.
I actually got a S9.
Oh, for real? Damn.
Yeah, bitch. No, I think I can't say that. We have to edit that out. But
That was dope. That was dope. Man, we're gonna leave that in. That was dope.
No, we got an S9. I did my homework and talked to people and figured out what did I need to buy, invested in it. And the rec room is a situation where whatever money I get from them, I just invest it back into the night.
Cool.
Because again, it's about community building. It's about I want these noobs to be able to talk to you guys and be like, yo, what the fuck was that you played, or how did you do that?
Yeah.
And for me, again, like I said earlier, I feel like connecting with people is stronger for me. So then, and in the city, we have a lot of dope people to connect with too,
That's
like
why we
Grand
call you the
Avenue.
mayor.
You know what I'm saying? And
Barsmith,
the Nile, Barsmith. I feel like, for all the people that say, yo, there's no culture here or anything I'm like, bro, you just gotta look. It's just like when people say there's no good new music.
Yeah.
You're not looking. And if
Yeah,
you're not
you
looking,
got to fish.
Yeah.
You got to go look for it.
yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Where's the rec room?
Oh,
Just
so the rec
everybody
room
knows.
is monthly at the Nile Shop. So the Nile Theater is a historic theater in Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
It's over 100 years old now, and it was the first theater that actually had air conditioner in
Oh, wow.
Arizona.
Wow.
And so they are a historical landmark. And in they still do shows and concerts and stuff in the theater, mostly like rock and punk shows. But Soulja Boy was there a couple months. Conway was there recently. They do different shows. And in the front of it, there's a coffee shop. So in the coffee shop, and they sell coffee, beer, wine. It's a vegan food place too. They're super involved in the community. We do the rec room there the third Thursday of every month generally. And I think at this point, all three of you guys have played, and Aaron.
Doug has not played.
Doug has
I
played.
have.
You played?
Yes.
Doug has played, and
played.
Aaron has played.
I played on the
Aaron's
shitty
played.
mixer.
You play, oh,
He played on the
damn.
shitty mixer,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, cool.
He didn't bomb either.
He didn't
So
bomb.
there you go.
And that's a sign of a good DJ. You do have to play on something shitty, and how do you get around it? I remember.
Man, wait. We're going to stop calling my mixer shit. No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta. It's a part of the stepping stones is learning. Everybody. You don't start out on this great equipment.
Yeah.
And so I remember when Aaron,
Some people do.
he was playing there, and Aaron's just playing tunes, like literally one tune at a time.
Yes.
And I know he's sitting up there like, hey man, this is not like it was at your house. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're gonna have to figure it out.
Figure it out.
If one needle ain't working and we licking on the needle and
Yep.
trying to figure out, is it the cord?
Yep.
Cause you had to know how to set up your gear.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's part of being a DJ. It's setting up
Still
the gear. Dang, it's a buzzing. Well, your ground is fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, what's the ground? Well, you better figure that out.
Figure it
you
out,
mean you up
bro.
here playing and you don't know what the ground is?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be playing. You know what I mean? Or, man, there's only one the headphones don't, usually at your house, the headphones is two.
Yeah.
Well, man, you only need one cup to work. Well,
Yeah.
but you better figure out, flip the headphone around if it's only one side work. Because we can get around it. It wasn't
can
like
get
the mix
around
was messed up. It was like,
But even- but
Ken, I
it's-
got to go home. I got to go home. No, I just
Steve
worked
was going
around
to pack
it.
his shit up like, fuck this fool.
Right. It's other stuff too.
Oh, you work around it.
Yeah, I've played at places. Oh, that button don't work right.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out. Maybe I got to use the platter to start my tunes instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is to me it is part of growing up, so to speak.
I want to touch base. I don't know how we doing on time, but I want to touch base on
We're
two.
good. We're good.
Okay, cool. I want to touch base on a couple of things before we get out of here for sure. So first of all, me and Tone, we're closer here in Phoenix than we ever were in Detroit. And
100%.
off camera, me and Steve were talking and saying how crazy it is that, me and Steve meet here. I find out that he knows Tone.
Mm-hmm.
Tone probably slightly co-signed for me, like Ken is okay or something like that. And then Steve starts fucking with me, right? And then some kind of way, Tone ends up out here. It's just crazy how things manifest.
Yeah.
The way that they're supposed to, which is super interesting. I do remember I had a night at Crescent Ballroom with Alex Degents, and where night flights where we were booking people on the bottom and people on the top. And I remember having Steve.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. I remember Steve was one of my guests that came to play there. And Tone told me a story.
It's true. Go ahead. It's true.
I never talked to you about it.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it.
But it's a funny story. You want to jump in?
I'm waiting.
I want him to tell it.
So I'll tell it. Tone checked the shit out of me. Right. This is what happened. I told you, you know who I am and where I come from. So I'm about it. Like, let's do what we're gonna do.
The green
You tell me when I'm playing. Tell me when I'm going on. I'm gonna be ready for you. I'm gonna kill it. I don't care if I'm opening, closing, middle. It don't matter, right? Because I'm my shit's gonna be right. I'm like, presentation is everything to me. Like everything. Even how people see this podcast, it's got to be dope. We changed the lights out. In the first episodes, our faces was dark and muddy. Fuck that. We got to get the lights right.
Yeah.
We hitting I just like presentation is everything to me.
Yes.
So, you're known as the cool ass Ken. You just cool as fuck. Everybody know Ken. Oh, he cool as hell, man. Ken is cool, right? I get that. And you play good music. That's how I know you. Yeah. So you invite me to come play at the at Phoenix Valley. I'm like, cool. Thanks, man. I'm playing. We're doing this because we love to do it, and not like, how much is it?
Yeah.
So. You're playing first. I think old boy Gents is downstairs or something like that. Gent is downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I think I came to this night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we're upstairs.
That's the first time I met you. Yeah.
We're upstairs, and I'm supposed to go on at us. You told me when I was going on, right? So I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to get on. When I get ready to get on, I'm always ready to fuck some shit up. Just in case.
Clearly.
It could be 3 people, 2 people, just in case. Because you never, Terrence taught me that. He said you never know who's listening.
Yes.
Because when Terrence was on the radio, he was like, I can't see my audience, but I'm on the radio. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, I remember he told a story how Gary Chandler was listening to him. And Gary called into the station. And it's like, yo, man, you bad. My name is Gary Chandler. And he was like, I'm glad I was playing the way I was playing. Because, it's just a respect thing.
Absolutely.
So I kept it in my head. Not like I'm just chilling. Ain't nobody here fucking. I'm just chilling. No, you never know who's sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
It could be Stevie Wonder. You know what I mean? It could be anybody. You never know.
Yeah.
So as you're telling me I'm about to go on, I'm already gearing what I'm about to do based on the last few tunes you playing. I'm always prepared. You think I'm just drinking? No. Okay, you did a Funkadelic? All right, cool. I brought, that's about 1.
I got something for that.
14. Yeah. I got something for that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's oftentimes my mentality.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm chilling. I'm talking to Tone. I'm talking to, hey, what's up? Da, da, da. But I'm listening.
Sure.
So my time is not coming because you keep delaying it. And I'm starting to get irritated. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
This
I
motherfucker
remember
said I was
hearing
going
about
on
this.
at whatever the time was. I'm like, okay, cool. Chill. I go get me a drink. Fuck it. Get a drink. I'm going to support the bar. I love supporting. Yeah. I don't ask for free nothing. I will pay to get in. I will buy drinks because I want the culture to you know what I'm saying?
That's showing support.
I show support. We do that, Doug. Yeah. You ain't got to put me on a list. I want to pay, and my friend, they going to pay too.
Yeah.
But I got the hookup, Ken. You hooked me up with a gig. And you're supposed to let me play at a certain time. And that's the time I think I'm playing. So Stephen Kill mode is going on. Let's say it's 11. I'm going on at 11. And Ken is still spinning. And each tune you play that you not getting off, I'm getting more and more irritated. And I'm starting to talk to Tone about it. And I'm like, dog, I know Ken is cool. I know that's your boy. But he said I was playing. And man, this thing is just dragging on, dog. Like I'm ready to go. Cause I battle the paint on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm ready to go.
I'm
Like
not joking.
you know what I mean? I'm playing vinyl. I don't have a controller with my whole collection.
Sure.
Where I could do anything. I'm limited to the crate.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's only you know what I mean? So I'm already my next when somebody's about to get finished and give me the shits, I got my 3 lined up. I got my 3.
Yep.
How I'm about to roll.
Yeah.
So I'm about to roll for about 30, 45 minutes. And I'm just getting fucking irate. I'm getting irate. And I'm like, damn.
Steve like the Mad Hatter.
Ken ain't shit too. Everybody there's on her. So I'm like everybody. I said, I'm all the way from Detroit. I'm cool. I ain't asked this motherfucker nothing. I'm just trying to play a set. It ain't hardly nobody here. Damn, can I get on? Is it this hard to get on?
Right.
Damn. What I gotta do? I'm just trying to. Tone has to calm me down.
Wait, hold up. He started packing
Oh, I'm
his
about to
shit
leave.
up.
Oh,
Yes, I was there. Yes, I remember he's packing his stuff up.
This is how I leave.
Because the thing is, I came to listen to you spin.
I leave real cleverly, but when I leave, I'm about to leave. So I said, okay, because I had like my headphones ready. I said, I put the headphones in the thing. I was like, I'm gonna shut that one down. I'm gonna start putting the records back in the thing. I'm about to haul because I'm like, dude, you tell me I'm playing. It's clearly I'm not playing no time soon.
Yeah.
It's not packed. Now I'm offended. You've wasted my time, Ken. You fucking wasted my time. Like I'm out here sitting. I ain't 20. I'm 50, motherfucker. And I'm just out here sitting, sweating on the fucking roof, and I ain't playing. And I'm just irritated. So I'm about to leave. Yeah. They notice or Tone notice.
Yeah.
He's like, dog, you about to leave? I was like, yeah, I'm about to. And I was about to fuck the friendship up, right? Because I'm about to be out, right? You
Yeah.
don't know. You don't know this.
I don't know none of this.
You don't know none of this is going on. So Tone checks me, dog. I'm so glad he did. Because you wouldn't be here right now. You said, dog.
Excommunicated.
Right. Didn't even know it.
You said you need to fucking chill. I said, what you talking about? He was like, Ken is trying to get you a crowd and get it warmed up for you. He trying to make it so that you play to something. He's trying to make it better for you.
Right.
I was so in myself mode and just fuming within myself. I didn't see what you were doing.
Yeah.
I come from Detroit.
Oh, I do too. I understand.
Where they ball hogging.
Yep.
Where you can't get on.
Mm-hmm.
Where they asked you to play. You asked me to play.
Right.
I didn't lobby on your door. Can I please come down to the...
Yeah.
And they still ain't letting you on.
Yeah.
So I went back in Detroit mode. Tone experienced this where they fronting. Tone just said, how many times you been fronted on, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm stepping on Ken's toes. He got his little DJ thing going. I show off too much. I get it. I'm going back home.
He got his little mixer.
Yeah. He got his little. I'm going back.
Mixer.
I get it. I'm going back home. I'll go back into my little cubby hole and do my production and whatever. But Tone had to stop me, and he was like, "Dog, you need to calm down. You need to chill the fuck out." Ken is cool as fuck, right? He's actually trying to warm it up for you.
Yeah.
I'm not used to a DJ servicing, trying to warm it up for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm used to how you gonna front now. You know, oh, you gonna tell me my shit's canceled? Oh, like so I went into that mode, defensive mode, to the point where it's like, I don't need this scene. I'm straight. I got a real job.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
Yeah.
I was ready to go home.
Wow.
He stopped me from going home, and then I was like, I'll be asking somebody, dog, am I an asshole? He was like, yeah, you an asshole, man. He was like, yeah, dog, yeah, it's cool. You an asshole. And I was like, then I felt bad. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, damn, I'm a dick. I turned. I'm like, I'm a fucking asshole.
Hey.
This dude is trying to help me.
So look,
get on. And
he
that was
fucking
the story,
murdered
man.
the shit though.
He did.
He fucking murdered it.
Man.
Like
He always
in
does.
all his fucking evil villain fucking whatever, he murdered that fucking night. It was excellent.
But I started out earlier, not to take over, telling you how my mentality didn't serve me. Remember about a half an hour ago,
Yeah.
I said the kill thing, it'll start eating you up alive.
Yeah.
And not letting your relationships to flow because you're so defensive. You think it's somebody trying to push you out, where actually you were trying to invite me in. And then I almost had some PTSD shit. You know, like I've sat
what it
around and
is.
waited to get on, and then I don't get on. And I think I told them, I said, I've seen this movie before.
I mean,
I've seen the movie where you don't get. I've seen it.
Separately from this experience, I know that we've had conversations about relationships with other people in the city that went awry.
Yeah.
And sometimes I found like you have to figure out a way to reapproach things, right? First of all, be able to see it for what it is and then come down from it and then go up there and fucking murder the shit. Like that's fucking excellent, right? But but like if you like I've had conflict with people here in the scene, right? My reputation may be Ken is cool as fuck, right?
Yeah.
But it's primarily because I want to maintain civil relationships. And because to your point, you never know who's listening or anything like that. You never know who's watching. There's things that are going on that I was a part of a couple years ago that I am definitely not interested in participating in now. But I think the city needs everything, right? The city is better when we have all these things going on in different places. And if I can navigate these circles for good, for bad, like the city is dope. And so like I love what you guys are doing with Rooted, like because that's just another element that's going to make the fucking city dope. And so my goal in general for me is to be able to I want to go to the lowrider people and hang out with those DJs.
Yeah.
I want to go to the hip hop people and hang out with those
Wow.
DJs. I want to go to the people, the band people or the techno people. Like I want to be not necessarily playing at all of these things,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't be a situation where this group of people don't know this group of people over here. We all are music lovers. We all can learn from each other. And so the goal is to bring it together. And that's like, I really see that as my driving focus of why I'm doing what I'm doing here in the city.
Your why is excellent, Ken. And it, like I say, I'm never above learning. Like, I want friends to check me. I don't like yes man or whatever. And so, like, I hooked up with Tone and Doug on this show. Tone had got his own opinions. He's got his own way of going about things, his own mentalities. We share a lot in common, but there's a lot of ways we're different.
Sure.
Doug is known as the contrarian. I picked this dude to be a part of this thing because he pissed me off on Facebook so many times going against what I said. What the fuck you mean? It ought to be this. And
Hey,
so,
man,
but it was
sometimes-
just this counter viewpoint,
Yeah.
but it was always intelligent. You know, it was always, and it wasn't just some dumb
Like,
shit.
it's not a personal attack.
Yeah,
either.
so Ken is. I mean, Doug is about those facts.
Yep.
And he'll bring them to you from a music standpoint or whatever the topic is, and then I grow when I see some. I don't need to see another Steve Crawford. I know
Yep.
what Steve Crawford is about.
Yep.
I don't need to see another myself. You know what I mean? I need to see something different.
Yep.
I need to see what he's playing, how he's mixing out of tunes, because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then you get because I mean that growth. I love to grow, like the DJs that check me, either skill standpoint, music standpoint. It's a million different ways you can get checked.
Yeah.
You know, like you can stand there and be doing all this scratching, but how long you gonna do that before you let the record play? You can't just get up
Yes.
there.
Speak on it.
Unless you a DJ, unless you battling and you
Yeah.
doing a trick routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, when the routine is over,
What are you?
what are you?
Yep.
Right? Because I know battle DJs, they can only play for 10 to 15 minutes before it's like, okay, the shit's getting noisy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting real noisy. Applause. But can you play? Can you deliver music in a hot way? You know what I mean? Because my mother, she don't like all that scratching. I'll be down there scratching. What you doing, boy? Trying to do scratching on them records, boy.
Yeah, tearing up my records.
Tearing up my records.
Yeah.
I can't scratch. When I was growing, I couldn't do. She hear that? You know, it's like
Turn it off.
Turn it off. Turn that noise off.
Go to bed.
That's
But
funny
man,
that you mentioned that
Yeah.
earlier. You said how there was music always around, and like your parents having parties, and they was putting stuff in the air and all that kind of stuff. Same thing happened in my house.
Yeah.
And the trick was just to stay out of trouble and be quiet enough
Yep.
to like hang out.
Observe and hang out. Yeah.
But I mean, at 7 to 8 years old, you got a sibling. Y'all fighting over something.
Yeah.
Y'all sitting around in their face. You ain't need to be looking, with the adults and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you're hearing the tunes.
You're hearing the tunes,
Yeah.
man.
Let me tell you what's I'd share with you while we're similar, even though we do different things, right? There's this record that we both play, but we play it for different reasons. The record is John Lupani, right?
Oh, yeah.
And one of the records that he plays, I can't think of the name of it, but it's
Open Mind.
it's on that album.
Yeah.
That was a Detroit staple.
Yeah.
Right, Detroit staple.
Detroit staple.
John Lupani. Then there's the beautiful record, doom, 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 right? So we both play John Lupani. I learned about John Lupani because my sister played violin, electric violin, and she put me up on John Lupani. You played a John Lupani edit off that. It's a black cover.
It's a black cover,
right?
yeah.
Black cover.
I know exactly
Played
what
that
Say
edit.
what?
It fit
I gotta hear this.
Oh,
It
yeah.
fit
I'll give it.
right into what you do.
Yeah.
I pulled the John Lupani record
As a weapon.
as a weapon.
Me too.
As a weapon. I said, I'm going to fuck somebody up with this. And here's why. The one faster tune,
Yeah.
I started hearing bass beats behind it. I was like, it's a little too fast for house. So I was like, I was like, fuck. When I get to a fast part, it's this ghetto tech record in Detroit called Positronics.
Yeah, yeah.
It's this bass record, and that's all it does. But it's a hit. You drop it. I used to drop it in college. It's floor packer. So I was putting together a set for this Charivari online thing when the pandemic happened.
Oh, yeah.
And we did all Charivari video. Everybody's turned in their videos. And I was like, I got to fuck people up or fuck somebody up with something that's not supposed to be played or that's not supposed to fit in.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is going to be cool. And so we both playing John Lupani.
I remember that.
And I played it as a battle record, right? You're not supposed to, I didn't scratch, there was no scratch, I didn't do any scratching. I mixed the whole thing out. And because that record is fast, I could play some other fast stuff I like. For example, the Jacksons, Walk Right Now.
Walk Right Now.
Walk Right
Yeah.
Now. Dun, 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 Walk Right Now.
Yep.
And I was like, that's fast. I would always have to slow Walk Right Now down. But it's fast for John Lupani and for bass. So it's Walk Right. So I ran that little section as a battle mixing because I don't do a lot of scratching when I perform.
Yeah.
Like when I play, little bit maybe here and there, but I'm not a big scratcher. I just know how to scratch, but I'm not Gary Chandler.
yeah.
I don't do a scratch concerto, right?
Scratch
concerto.
No disrespect.
So, but I do it in a mixing way, right? Well, Terrence Parker was a mixing person. Wizard wasn't the best scratcher.
No,
right?
but he was a mixer.
He was
yeah.
a mixer. He was all the edits and all the tapes and all the tunes coming from everywhere. But I saw John, and I thought, as a battle type of DJ, we always trying to think. And you don't realize this, but you think like a battle DJ too.
So wait,
battle-
tell me the different how you think, because I want to talk about how I think too.
I weaponize records, right? I gotta have a record I pull out where if Tone walks in, let's say he don't even come to none of my gigs, but I got a just in case record.
That's in the crate.
That's
Just
in the
in
crate.
case this
Just in case he pull the fuck up and I need to do a little something,
Yeah.
or drop a little something, right? Doug, you had the big tune you played, the Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, you talking about J.P. Morgan?
The J.P.
Yeah,
Morgan.
we go back to
We
that
talked
all the
about
time.
that was a
record again
weapon.
on this podcast.
So hey,
That
I
when
got
heard
a
you
45
play that,
of it now.
I do too.
Yeah.
It was assaultive to me. Because when you played it, I was like, ooh. It was just as deadly if it's just somebody did a trick or
Yeah.
a scratch or some behind the back thing. It's the same mentality. You don't have to. People think you battling. You don't have to battle with tricks. You don't have to battle.
Nah.
You could battle with knowledge.
Yeah.
You
So,
could. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that
Absolutely.
song was assaultive to you much
Oh,
like,
it was
but the one that I did was, it's Mary Clayton, Keep Your Eye on the Sparrow, and it's an
Yes,
edit.
yes,
It's an edit.
yeah.
It's a Scrimshire.
you
It's a
have an edit
Scrimshire
of it?
edit.
Oh,
It's a
I
Scrimshire
think I
edit.
have that. I have about 4 of it. Yeah, Scrimshire. Yeah.
So
But it's a Scrimshire edit, and he was like, he was on his phone, and he heard it come in, because it comes in with a triangle, ding 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 ding, and then it just boom, 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 ba-dum, and he was playing on his phone. All of a sudden, he looked up, and he got up, and I was like, oh yeah, got him,
So it's assaulting. I
got
love
him.
it.
it's assaultive, like, and it's
And he
appreciated.
went out and got the record like the next week.
The next,
Yeah.
it's a music appreciation thing.
Yeah.
So just like you trying to get a body on the dance floor or make them go woo, or make a DJ run up and say, "What is that?" That comes from a battle thing. You think it's just for you. It's just I like this record.
Yeah,
and it
I was just
sounds
playing the
good.
record.
I'm just playing the
Yeah.
record. No, man, you playing the record because it's really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't say this is very average. I think I'm gonna play it. You didn't say that. No, you said.
No, I said it was a heater.
Damn, ooh,
That's
this
it.
is
Yeah.
a heater.
Yeah.
I'm about to drop this.
Yeah, I had to.
That's battling, bro.
Yeah.
No, I
You see
didn't
what I'm
realize
saying?
that.
You ain't got to mix it with something. You got to come in quick. No. When you said, I got this special edit. Ooh, I know they ain't heard that. I got this. What's the re-edit guy you love so much? That
Reflex.
Reflex, right?
Ooh-wee.
So when you find
Yeah,
a
we
Reflex
have that
edit
in common. Yeah.
that you really
Love that
like,
guy.
and it's better than the original.
Anytime I drop a reflex edit of some sort,
That's assaultive,
I know.
bro.
I see both of them. I can feel them looking at me.
Yeah. It's like what you trying to do.
Who's that?
It's,
Right.
it's,
You trying to
Have
fight,
you-
bro?
you trying to fight?
Yeah.
The fight works.
Right now,
He
my
was fighting-
favorite is the Imagination Lights, Music and Lights edit that he did. I don't know if you heard
Oh,
that.
I haven't heard that one yet.
I've been running that like at I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, okay.
The
Actually,
tune, the edit you played, it's a white label, but it's got gold writing on it. It's very very slow. You played it, tone was there. He nutted on the shit. I nutted on the shit.
Pause.
I went up to
thank
look
you.
at it, and you couldn't read it. The worst is when you can't read it because it ain't got no identifiable
yeah,
Done that to
shit
him
on the
several
record.
times. I'm like,
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's got the swirly thing. The thing look like fingers. I'm like, it look like,
Yeah.
it look like
man,
gold
listen,
fingers.
y'all be
You know
putting
what? I
pressure.
probably still have that picture on my phone.
Oh yeah,
dog. Come
listen,
on, dog.
y'all be
Come on,
applying
dog.
pressure though. Like, so when we did the thing at Valley Bar, and y'all were like we set the shit up, and then y'all are like, "Ken, go ahead and fucking play," right, and open the shit up, and I'm just like, man, all these people was coming. What's the guy who's from Detroit who was here?
D-Win.
D-Win. I'm like, everybody's coming to fucking see D-Win. Steve is gonna fucking play. I'm under all this fucking pressure. What in the fuck am I gonna
You
do?
made that shit happen.
And then
dog.
I just was like, I'm just gonna play tunes and see if people start dancing. And then if I mix them, I mix them. If it works, it works. And it fucking worked. You know what I'm saying? And like, but y'all don't understand. Like I said off camera, or maybe y'all are like my big brothers here. Like I don't have. In Detroit, I had people who I wanted to see play because I'm going to learn from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get out enough because I'm fucking busy. But, like, I'm listening to every one of these podcast episodes like, what nugget is these motherfuckers going to give me
love it.
today
I love
that
it.
I can take
Catching a
and
nugget.
add something to what I do? And so, like, y'all and cats like y'all is what keep me going. I was talking to Lee and friends last night. She came by Valley Bar, and she was talking about how busy I am. And I was like, yeah, I have to clear up my schedule because what happens is having all these gigs, you end up buying records for the gig, right? So when I'm playing at Sotis, which I love to play at, they booked me to play jazz and soul. But now I'm buying records because, oh, I want to play this at Sotis, instead of buying the record because I actually want this fucking record and love it, right?
Yeah.
And so the way I have to shift that is I need to get out and be around y'all motherfuckers and people like you more, because then I hear music that I fall in love with, and then I consume it for myself, and it makes me a better DJ. So that's
Ken, we love that you came. Make sure you listen to the 3 sets because you are a fan of the show as well as an honorary member of the damn show. But make sure you listen to the 3
yeah,
sets.
y'all be dropping my name like every 2 episodes.
That's
so.
getting out.
We got you here.
But man, we did I think all of us played some beautiful music and sets.
Yeah, we did.
At the Grand Ave. We were at Grand Ave about 2 weeks ago, and we recorded it. So those sets are gonna come out, and man,
I can't wait.
It's some shit. And Tone is the highlight on that bitch. I'm telling you. And I played my ass off, but Tone came in and he was like, "Okay, motherfucker, what's up?" Good. He did his things, and I to all the listening audience, when you hear the next Tony Tone Rhythm Room on our YouTube channel, peep it out.
Nice.
It's purely dope.
You will not be disappointed.
It's long too. This shit was dope, man.
Thank you. Pause. But
Thanks for coming, brother.
Yep.
Man, it was my pleasure. I appreciate y'all, everything you do. Anytime y'all want me to come back and cut y'all out, I'll do it again.
Sure enough.
And stay tuned for my man's gonna do a rhythm round. Is that what we call it?
Yeah, rhythm round. We got Ken for the next 20, 30 minutes. MyGodComPlex is doing his rhythm round, and so you guys are gonna check him out. And no pressure, but he gonna play some hot tunes. That's all I'm saying.
There we go. Pressure.